So we're road tripping it this weekend. We have been gone for exactly 1 hour and we've already had to stop. Randy had to pee and we got our Dunkin' Donuts coffee mocha. So we are headed to Chicago for 2 days, then on to Milwaukee for a couple days. We have fun things planned in each of the cities and we're just gonna take you along. Right, babe?
Right.
So we stopped in Kankakee, Illinois to get gas on our way to Chicago. We're like an hour and a half from our hotel. Not quite an hour and a half. And gas is $4.12 here. It is like $3.59, $3.60 a gallon at home in Paducah, Kentucky. $4.12 a gallon. So we're at a Cassis general store in Kankakee, gonna fill up, get a little sweet treat. It's like 3:45 in the afternoon. Then we'll be in Chicago soon. We're going out to dinner tonight. Expensive, isn't it?
$4.12.
I know it.
So I'm always amazed when we come to Chicago, just all of the traffic and so many people, and there's just so much to see. And I'm always interested in this train. I've never taken the train. I didn't realize the train went into the city, but apparently it does. And just the traffic is so overwhelming. But here we are. Here is the city. And Randy was obsessed with this parking structure. Just look at that. I would be scared to death to park in there. So we stayed in a hotel in Grant Park and woke up the next morning and went down to the bakery, which is next door to the hotel. These pastries were incredible. People were flooding in this place. They were making pastries. It took us like 20 minutes to even figure out what we wanted to eat. There was everything. It was fresh. It was warm. You should have smelled all of the pastries in this place. It was incredible. A tiramisu tart, I mean, come on, please. There was everything from chocolate to fruits to just plain things. They had mochi donuts. They had almond croissants. They had filled croissants. It was amazing. I had a raspberry croissant on day 2, but on day 1, you know I had to do it. You all know me well enough. I had to get the chocolate croissant. The coffee croissant donut, they were out of it. I would have gotten that one for sure. But we got big cups of steaming fresh coffee. Yes, I put honey and cream in my coffee. I got a chocolate croissant. Randy got some cream-filled almond croissant thing. It was delicious. I don't even know what you call it. Later that day, we had lunch at a little outside bistro at Grant Park, and this was more like a brunchy, lunchy type situation. I had a breakfast sandwich and fried potatoes. We shared some French toast just because we had to. We're on vacation, and this was going to last us most of the day. You know that we stopped in Garrett's Popcorn. I mean, come on. When you come to Chicago, you have to go to Garrett's Popcorn. I am a cheese popcorn eater. I know everybody debates their favorite Garrett's Popcorn. We are straight up cheddar cheese. Then we just spent the day walking around the city, looking at the train tracks, the food trucks, the people. I love to people watch in Chicago. I think it's a super interesting city. We put on our sneakers, we walked around. It was actually warmer than we thought it was going to be, but we had a great time just checking out the city of Chicago. It's beautiful this time of year with all the flowers, but then you have the grit of Chicago, the trains, the old buildings, the people. It's just a really good vibe. We love walking around. We love seeing all the things. Chicago is actually one of my favorite cities to visit because it just seems like every time we're here, there's a new part of the city that we've never seen before, but Randy was obsessed with this train. So we stood here for like 20 minutes and just watched it. Then we walked down to the lake. Well, actually, our concert that we're seeing tonight, Morgan Wallen, is in Soldier Field, and we decided to make the walk to see how long it was going to take us to get over there. And once we did get over there, then we decided to spend a little bit of time at the lake. People were all over this place, I guess because it was a really beautiful day. People were on bikes, people were jogging, there were people on scooters, walking with strollers, kids, older folks, just crazy amounts of people out at the lake. And I was really surprised by all the boats on the lake. I didn't expect that. But here we are, trying to get a little pic, trying to get the lake in the background. Not easy to do. And then we're walking back. I had my little gold crossbody, just some linen shorts, my favorite slides, easy breezy, walking around. And then it is time for the concert. But first, we had dinner. This was a little Asian place next door to the hotel called Lei, L-E-I. We had dumplings. The sauces were amazing. Randy got a lemon chicken. This was my favorite thing. I think I ate half of his meal. It was a fried chicken breast with a lemon curd. We had some spring rolls. I had a shrimp dish with like candied cream. I don't even know what you call this. It had walnuts. Amazing. Then we headed to Soldier Field to the Morgan Wallen concert. It was a little bit chilly, so we had jackets and hoodies, and we were given these armbands when we walked in. And if you've ever been to see Morgan Wallen, then you know what's going to happen. He does a walkout. There's always a celebrity. Honestly, he had some football player from the Chicago Bears. I didn't know who he was, and I would love to let you all hear Morgan Wallen singing here, but YouTube won't let me play Morgan Wallen songs. I'm so sorry. It was a really great concert. This is the second time we've seen him, and these wristbands light up. They're controlled by the concert, and they light up and they change colors, and it's a really good time. We got up the next morning and we headed to Milwaukee.
So we're headed to Milwaukee to visit our daughter, and woo-wee, it is 75 degrees. Look at this wind. We're freezing. I'm gonna have to stop and get a jacket out of the truck, I think, because my version of 75 in Kentucky is absolutely not the version of 75 when you get up north, apparently. Oh, he's leaving without me.
We met our daughter and son-in-law for lunch, and they wanted to take us to the beach. And we're like, what? A beach in Milwaukee? Like, what do you mean? Here we are trying to get pics. My daughter's taking a picture of Randy and I. We're trying to get a good picture of the beach in the background. And then here's my daughter and son-in-law, and we headed down to what they called the beach. This was very interesting. This is what I call a lake. They call it a beach at the lake, but this was the vibe. We kind of walked around for a little bit and then went back to check into our hotel.
So we just arrived to Milwaukee. We met our daughter for lunch and just checked into our favorite little hotel. And anytime I'm in Milwaukee, I stay at the Plaza Hotel. This is the cutest stinking hotel. I feel like I'm staying in somebody's just loved and comfortable little house. I took a little video tour for you all, and when we go outside for dinner, I'll video the outside. But if you're ever in Milwaukee, highly recommend the Plaza Hotel. And we're now going to get unpacked because we're going to be here for 4 days, I guess it is, and we have plans every day, and our daughter's picking us up here pretty soon because we have dinner reservations.
And then it was time for dinner, and we went down to the 3rd Ward and ate at a restaurant called Cassis. My daughter has been raving about this restaurant for months. I'm not a steak eater, but she told me I had to get the steak and fries. So I went for it, and I gotta say, it was absolutely incredible. Everything we had there was amazing. I forgot to take a photo of the ravioli. We got it for the table. Everybody shared it. Knocked my socks off, and it was time to call it a night, y'all. My belly was full of steak.
Our daughter's getting ready to come pick us up. We are going to a creperie for breakfast. We're going to a farmer's market. Then we're going to walk around some walking trails down by the beach. It's on Lake Michigan, which we actually walked down there yesterday. I can't imagine a beach on the lake, right? So we went to see that for ourselves. But today it is only 63 degrees. Super cold compared to 90 back home in Kentucky. So I didn't really think that through, I guess. I didn't bring the proper clothes, so I'm wearing a little tank top, some white jeans. I have on my sneakers because we're gonna go walking, and I'm gonna wear a jacket. So Father's Day, we have gifts behind us. We're gonna take those to our daughter's house and do Father's Day a little bit later. My husband's listening. Shh. And then we're gonna go out for pizza tonight, and we're gonna go play pool. So we have an action-packed day. I'm looking at the sun out right now, but just super chilly. Daughter's gonna be here in a minute, and we're gonna head out, so I'll take you with us.
We went to breakfast at a little creperie, and y'all, I do not remember the name of the place. I will put it in the description box below, and I'll do that for all the places that we ate in Chicago and Milwaukee. So if you're in town, you can, go have all these great places for yourself. But this little creperie was amazing. I got a s'mores crepe. It was full of like chocolatey goodness with a homemade marshmallow on top. Amazing. My son-in-law, I don't even know, this crepe had a big pile of mustard. Kendall got eggs and tomatoes and all the things on her crepe. And then it's back to me. Like, I cannot get over this s'mores crepe. Randy got a traditional with his eggs on the side. We stuffed our faces and then went down to a farmer's market. This is actually Father's Day, so I don't know if this market was crowded or not crowded, but it was very interesting with honey, molasses, root vegetables, all the things. The next morning, my daughter and I went to the domes, and this was so interesting. There's a desert dome full of all sorts of tropical desert plants. It was really hot in there and dry, but this gorgeous glass dome that houses all of this plants was so cool. You pay $10 to get in, and then you can just browse around. There are 3 domes. There's kind of a local dome, a desert dome, and then tropics, which we're headed to next. But the desert was really cool because these are plants that I would never get to see in person. This plant, look at this. It looks like some alien snake coming out of the ground, but it's local to the desert. We went in the tropical dorm and saw Penelope, the corpse flower. I don't remember all the details, but apparently these corpse flowers only bloom like once every 20 years. And Penelope bloomed a couple years ago, and she is blooming again in a couple days. They're documenting how much she's growing every day. She was really cool to see. So glad we didn't have to smell her. But the plants in the tropical dome were so pretty. My daughter and I just walked around. We spent an hour and a half in the tropical dome just taking in all of the colors and the smells, and everything was so pretty. The domes were incredibly well done, but we packed up and headed to the 3rd Ward, to the market. This is a vibrant little shopping district. It's inside. There is something for everybody. And every time we're in Milwaukee, we always take a tour through the shopping at the 3rd Ward. For dinner, we headed to DanDan. DanDan is a Chinese restaurant with an eclectic flair. It is in the 3rd Ward area, and it was incredible. And I forgot to take pictures of our food. I am so sorry, but check out DanDan if you're in Milwaukee. We came back to our hotel, the Plaza Hotel. I took some footage, thought I would show you around. This is what it looks like from the outside. It's a truly historic building that is so well kept. It has been renovated but kept all of the original features of the hotel. I absolutely love this place, and every time I'm in Milwaukee, this is where I stay, without question. The lobby is so pretty, and everybody here is local. They are so friendly. You can see the charm and the cool vibe of the Plaza Hotel. Randy kind of plopped down in the chair here while I was taking some video, and I walked up the stairs to show you the cafe. They close at 2 or 3 o'clock, so they were closed that night, but you can bet your booty I'm going to be there for breakfast in the morning. Our last day in Milwaukee, we jumped up, we went down to the cafe. I had my favorite, the lemon poppy seed pancakes. While they're making my pancakes, I'll show you around. The vintage charm of this cafe is one of my favorite things ever. And in the summer months, their outdoor courtyard is open. It's just the place to be. Randy got breakfast, hash brown eggs, English muffin, and these are my pancakes. And I totally botched this shot. I was trying to be professional, and I was going to pour my syrup and make it look all fancy. I did a horrible job, but it is a blueberry ginger syrup, and these pancakes are amazing.
So we're leaving Milwaukee. We're checking out of our favorite little hotel in the world, the Plaza Hotel. So adorable. We went in the cafe this morning, and I had my lemon poppy seed pancakes with a blueberry and ginger syrup. Like, y'all, it is incredible. So we're headed home. We have a 7-hour drive home. We're gonna stop at IKEA here in Milwaukee. Gas up, of course, before gas is so much cheaper in Wisconsin before we get in Illinois. And we'll get home about dark. Actually, probably a little after dark. The doggies are excited, I know, to see us. We miss them. We left on Pollock's birthday, so it's so sad, but they've been in good hands.
We headed to IKEA, and I'm always taken back at how huge the store is.
So we just pulled up to IKEA, which this is a big deal for us because we don't have an IKEA anywhere near where we live. So we always stop in when we're in Milwaukee. But Randy is wanting an outdoor, like, cabinet countertop kitchen system to go underneath his pergola. And they can be so expensive. But he found one at IKEA, which is exactly what he wants. So we're going to stop in and check it out. Right, babe?
Right.
Right.
Just looking around inside, they have little areas staged with decor and furniture, and everything you see is available for sale. IKEA is massive. This is exactly what my husband went to get. Not the whole set, just a section of the set. And they didn't have it. It was up on a wall. They had to get it down with a forklift, which they weren't allowed to do when people were in the store. So we had to go to a different IKEA.
Well, after 2 different IKEA stores and about 3 hours of time, we actually got what we came for, and I forgot to film a single bit of it. So we just got it loaded up in the back of the truck. You'll have to see it in another video. They didn't have 2 of the parts that went with the whole thing. They're being shipped to us, so it's beside the point anyway. So now, finally, we're getting on the road. We have a 3.5 hour drive. 5.5 hour drive. We should be home about 8:30 tonight. So see you there.